Hello and welcome to Mama Sue's Kitchen. It's cold in Alabama today. We even had some snow flurries last night, and I know so many of you are from states where you get a lot of snow, but it's very rare here. If we see snowflakes, twice a year, that's a lot for us. But it was so pretty falling yesterday, and it's going to be cold the rest of the week. But when we got home from Louisiana last weekend, my daughter Amy had made something that she said I had to try. She said, "Mama, you're going to love it." It's called, I pronounce it, praline crunch. Now, I learned when I was in Louisiana last weekend that they call it praline. So it doesn't matter what you call it. You're going to call it good when you taste it. But she gave me the recipe, and she had gotten it off of a site that she follows, and I mean, it is delicious. You get Crispix cereal, and you take 8 cups of the Crispix cereal and 2 cups of pecans. Now, y'all, I have pecans, but I've got to crack and shell them, so I've only got 1 3/4 cups. But I'm going to put those in there. Then I'm going to set that aside, and I have my pan right here, and in this pan I'm going to put 1 stick of butter. It says 1/2 cup of butter, so I use real butter, as you already know, and 1/2 cup of light brown sugar packed, and 1/2 cup of corn syrup. So get all of that out, and then the only thing that we're going to do now is we're going to bring that mixture to a boil. And when it comes to a boil, I will add vanilla and baking soda. Take it off the eye and add that. And I'll show you the rest of it. I'm going to kind of watch this as the butter melts and bring it to a boil, because once it comes to a boil, I'll take it out and add the other. But anyway, I know that you're wanting to know about the cookbooks, and I'll tell you that I talked with them yesterday, and they said that Thanksgiving put them 2 days behind. So they said I should have them by the end of this week. And of course, next week we'll be extremely busy starting to ship. But thank you so much for your prayers for Blake. Let me tell you what happened. You know, Sunday, I told you at the end that our pastor had said just cast all your cares on him because he cares for you. Well, just almost immediately after I filmed, I got a message from my daughter-in-law that Blake's oxygen was dropping, and she was over there, and anyway, they had to put him back up to a higher level of oxygen, change some things, but he's doing great now. But I thought, is that not just the way Satan does? You say, don't worry about anything. But I knew that I couldn't do anything, and so I just wanted to tell you that he is doing fine now. And as far as Henry, let me tell you just a little bit about Henry while I'm waiting for that to boil. Henry weighed 8 pounds and 2 ounces when he was born, and the most beautiful baby you've ever seen. But somehow during the delivery process, he was without oxygen for a while. And he has some very severe brain damage. And just pray, because his mom and dad are planning to take him home with hospice, and they don't know that none of the doctors give them much hope. But you know what? We're going to trust God. All right, this is, the butter is melting, so I don't think it's going to be very long until it starts boiling. Oh, I do want to share something with you too while I'm waiting. On our way home from Louisiana, I got a message from someone who has another page, and he was asking questions about my cookbook. If you're not following, I want you to go and look at Coffee with John. He and his mom always have coffee together, and they share a recipe. He's a fine person, and I think you will like their page. Coffee with John. And okay, I think it says, when it comes to a boil, bring to a boil. Okay, let me get all this butter melted, and it's starting to boil. Have you done your Christmas decorating yet? I've started. I have 2 of my trees up. Last year I had 3 trees. But you know, I think that extra year of age has made me decide I just need 2 this year. All right. Now, since this has come to a boil, I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla, and then I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and it's going to make this come up. Okay, see how it's all right. Now that I have that stirred up, I'm going to pour it over this mixture of the Crispix and pecans. That's all that's in here. And then I'm just going to stir it until it's coated. I'm telling you, this was so good when Amy brought us some. And I told her, I said, I'm going to have to go buy me some cereal, because I had everything else. Didn't quite have enough pecans, but I had everything else. And y'all, this would be great to bag up in a little cellophane bag and tie a bow on it, and maybe give some to your postman or your neighbor. All right, now that it is coated, I'm going to put it in a 9x13. Get all that goodie. And I have preheated my oven up to 250. And I'm going to bake that for 1 hour. And every 20 minutes, I'm going to stir it. But I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to set my timer for 20 minutes so I'll know to stir it. But you know what? We'll be back. Okay, The mix has been in the oven for an hour, and every 20 minutes I just stirred it a little bit. So I'm going to take it out, and then I'm going to dump it on parchment paper. Now y'all, I put a towel under mine because I did not want it to, it probably wouldn't mess up my countertop, the heat, but since it was going to be sitting there for a while, I thought I'm going to put a towel under it. So you don't have to do that, but it says to let it cool and then just break it apart, because as it cools, it'll get hard. But y'all, you saw how easy, and it is delicious. So I will post the recipe, and hope you'll try it. And if you wanted to add some other things to it, you could definitely do it. But before I go, I just want to remind each of you that you need to always be salt and light. Find the good in everything. There's always something to be happy about, because if you look around, even though you may be down and depressed or whatever, but there's people that's in a lot worse shape than you. So smile and just let people know that Jesus loves you. And I'll be back soon.